Junior Mining Weekly, StockPulse.com production, where we track the action of the individual equities markets within the commodity sector. This show is sponsored by Amex Exploration. Amex trades as AMX.V on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And with me to break down this week's action, Allan Laboucan of the Allan Reports. Al, it's been a couple weeks since we talked here up in Vancouver for the Resource Conference on location. Some good content for the channel. Pretty good vibe up there. How do you see this so far here, getting out of the gate in 2020? Looks like a little thin on news flow.
Usually, Rob, this time of the year, there's a lot of news out because as you were up in the Vancouver conferences there's the Vancouver Resource Investor Conference, there's the AME Conference, there's the Metals Investors Forum, and usually when there's that many shows, you see a lot of news from various different companies, but I was quite shocked to see so little news. I think that what a lot of people in this space don't realize is that, there's even as gold is getting stronger, there's still not a lot of, explorations, not nearly enough to replace, make discoveries that can replace the golds that's mined out every year. And that's an underlying theme of why I think gold and gold isn't unique. There's lots of other metals out there that aren't seeing enough exploration to replace the mines, and this is, an underlying reason why I'm so bullish on the price of these commodities. The supply chains are very weak, and the lack of news during a crucial time is kind of indicative of, how little exploration there is, how much is needed. And that's why if you can find good quality stories in this environment, it's, those are the ones you really want to stay focused on because that's where the money will be made. This is the most important part of the exploration or the mining business is exploration, just because it's been chronically under exploration for so long that, good companies with the right share structure can really move a lot, and that's what investors want to be looking for.
Well, let's get to some of those equities here. First one on the list, Amex Exploration, title sponsor. A good interview with Kelly Malcolm, VPX, up at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. Drills mobilized here at Perone. Why don't you run through how you see the work going there for those guys?
Yeah, they had some news out just earlier this week that, again, these guys do a lot of really good work. The latest work they've done is a program using drones to do magnetic surveys on their high-resolution magnetic surveys. The drones enable them to get really close to surface, and the closer you are to surface when you do your airborne magnetics, the better resolution you're going to get. And with those drones, you can fly a lot tighter line spacing. So it's like using a magnetic detector, a sophisticated magnetic detector. And the more lines you can do north, south, east, west, and in between each other, the tighter the better your resolution is going to be. And they're definitely seeing some key magnetic targets that are they've seen in their past work on the airborne geophysics, and then confirm that with their drilling. So it's not just like they're out there, doing some exploration with geophysics. They've got the signature based on geophysics and drilling, and now they've done this tight resolution. So I'm quite optimistic because they've got a bunch of zones of high grade so far, and they've got this big structural area that is wide open for exploration. And I like the targets that they've been able to pop out of this latest survey, and I think that'll take them towards a really good news flow with the drill rig.
Okay, next one up, one we've talked about a little before, Contact Gold. Contact trades as C.V. Some good results here from their project in Nevada. Run through this one.
Yeah, this is an open pit type of a target that you can heap leach. It's and so when you don't really need the same kind of grades as some of these high grade projects that we follow. For example, Amex. Amex is a high grade vein system that you drill deeper to find it. This is more at surface, but even for an at surface oxide type of an operation, these are pretty high grades, 2.36 grams per ton gold over 70 meters, and all of it is oxide. And it starts near surface. They had another 38 meter what was it, 4 grams over 38 meters. A lot of these operations these days, these open pit heap leach kind of oxide projects are, looking at half a gram or less these days. So when you're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 grams, that's some very high grade material, and so it's shaping up to be something nice. They don't have a lot of stock out, so it's it's not a diluted stock, broken share structure kind of story, and it's in Nevada. I'm expecting some good performance out of this as they continue to do more work.
Okay, next up, one that's no stranger to the program, BTU Metals Corp. That's BTU on the venture. Some more good copper, gold, silver mineralization at TNT. Why don't you run through the work being done by BTU?
Yeah, Rob, exploration it takes some work, and these guys had some good news out, and immediately the stock sold off. But I thought, as an explorationist, this was some, good news. They've got a volcanogenic massive sulfide system. Those things can take some work to do to sort of target in on where you need to be looking to hit the guts of the system. But they're getting sniffs of copper, gold, and silver, and that's the kind of stuff you want to see. But a lot of times in this business, I think that investors really have the attention span of a gnat. They don't understand that this takes some time sometimes to sort of hit the home run. It rarely, well, I can't remember many times in my career since 1993 that I've been in exploration where you find the mine on the first hole. Takes some work. The great Hemlo deposit in Canada took 140 some holes before they hit the system. And these guys are early in their exploration. They're doing the work the right way. They're seeing the right stuff. It's going to take some holes to sort of figure it out, more work. But, if it's successful, this could be something tremendously exciting, worth evaluation multiples of where it is right now. These VMS deposits tend to be, you're looking for multi-year mines, decade-plus mines in these kind of systems. And so it's an exciting project. It's not very far from infrastructure. Plus, they've got the extension of Great Bear's discovery, high-grade gold discovery that, might continue onto their property in the right kind of structural environment. So they've got some good targets. They're doing some good work. They don't have a lot of stock out, reasonable valuation. These are the things that investors should be looking for, not running away from when they start their early drilling into a new system. And I like what I see, so I think investors should pay attention and look for this on the dips. And I think as they do more work, you'll be rewarded.
Next one up, one we haven't talked about before, Gatling Exploration. Gatling trades as GTR on the venture. Some nice intersects of high-grade gold at Fernland. I know you're familiar with the team over there. Why don't you run through Gatling's news?
I've known Dale for a long time. Dale's a very good exploration guy, and he's got himself something here in Gatling. I've been kind of keeping an eye on Gatling for a while, and their latest news release caught my attention. They hit a 4-meter intersection of 11 grams per ton gold. It comes from an intersection of, looks like it started gold mineralization at about 29 meters, had gold mineralization all the way down to 122 meters. So this is located in a very good structural region of Ontario that's known for the big gold deposits, and it looks like a heck of a good start. 11 gram, well, let's say 11.9, so 12 grams over 4 meters. 45 million shares out on the company, 47 cent stock. It's definitely one that looks like it could have some legs to it. The low is 29 cents, the high is 71 cents. So you're closer to the low than you are the high. And the stock seems to have bottomed recently in the November-December window and started to firm up in January. And I think as they get more news and more work done, things should continue to go in a positive trend. So Gatling, yeah, it's our first time talking about it on the show, and I think it's one that investors want to keep an eye on. In a good area, not too expensive a valuation, and I like what I see so far.
Okay, next one up, one we've covered extensively here, Nevada Exploration, NGE on the Venture Exchange, 2020 drilling update. Run through this one.
Exploration is the kind of company that, it's a real lottery ticket kind of play. If their theory proves out, which is using groundwater to looking for minerals that are indicative of finding a deposit in Nevada, it could open up half the state, because half the state is covered by sand and dirt, and you can't really see the bedrock, so you can't do traditional sort of surface sampling where you look for outcrops of rock and use that to be an indicator. So they're using a new method, and they've been doing this for quite some time. But things are starting to shape up now. They've got themselves another drill rig on the property, so they're really rolling up their sleeves. And I think that this could be the year for Nevada Gold Exploration, where they really confirm that that their story of exploration using these new methods makes sense. And I like the team; they do good work. And they're sort of the breadcrumbs are leading them to where they want to go. And if the breadcrumbs are right, this could be an explosive kind of move for the company. So, it's like I said, it's a lottery ticket. It's one that it could get cut in half price if they don't have some success, but it could also be a 10x type play, plus 10x type play if they are successful. And they don't even really need to be hugely successful. If they could prove out the method and then keep drilling deeper, it will catch a lot of people's attention. So I think it's a good lottery ticket.
Okay, a new one here for us, Osprey Development, OS on the Venture. Some, as you call it, sweet stuff here from their latest drill assays here. Why don't you run through Osprey's news and how you see it?
Yeah, it's surprising. They hit a 2-meter intersection of 269 grams of gold. That's some pretty sweet stuff, and it's fairly close to surface as well. And that one of the things about Newfoundland, that part of the world, Nova Scotia, is that sometimes it's been challenged. You find some of these high grade shoots, but continuity can be challenging. But even in these drill results, they're getting gold mineralization from 71 meters down to 121 meters at their G19/18 hole. They had 5 meters of 107 grams. Inside that, they had 2 meters of 269. Inside that, they had 1 meter of 517. So there's a little bit of smearing there, but there's still gold mineralization for 5 meters with a high-grade core. And in these high-grade systems, that's what you want to look for. Now they got to see if they can continue, but it's kind of surprising. The company only has about 70 million shares out, and it's trading at, it popped up a couple cents after the news went out, but sort of sitting flat. It does trade like a banshee, though. 3.8 million shares traded, so there's obviously an audience there following it. But yeah, it seems like a pretty cheap valuation for a high-grade play to me.
Okay, last one up here, GoGold, GGD on the Toronto Stock Exchange. So they have some nice high-grade silver intersects in Mexico. Run through GoGold's news here, Al.
Yeah, I'd really like some of these companies that we talk about to get on our Hidden Treasures show. That's where I can really dig deep into these projects. But Again, I think we talked about this on our, some of these companies make it very difficult to sort of talk to them. And I'm quite surprised. GoGold has a really good project. They just announced 5 meters of 2,381 grams of silver equivalent. You're talking about a couple kilos of silver per ton of rock there. That's some pretty sweet looking stuff that I'd like to dig more deeply into what they have. And I think investors should too. Now, they do have 186 million shares out, so it's not exactly a tight share structure, but the project sure looks good. And they've been having no problem delivering really good results. And we've talked about them on multiple shows. It's time we got dug deeper into the story so we can sort of get an idea of where they are going with this and what all these results are leading them to. But again, it's some sweet looking material. 18.9 meters of 648 grams per ton silver equivalent. That's some sweet looking stuff, Rob.
Okay, appreciate that equity breakdown from Allan Berry there. And certainly, folks, do your own homework here. These are certainly suggestions and probably good ones at that, but still do your own homework and check with your financial advisor before making any moves. All right, before I let you go here, let's talk about gold. Looks like it's in a pretty good spot to me. Fed policies dictated that money's going to be probably pretty cheap from here on out. No reason to save. Safe haven. Gold's in a good spot. How do you see things moving forward here?
Gold is in a spot where I think it's just looking for a reason to break out to new multiple year highs. Sort of we got to that 1550 level back in September. Since then, it softened up. The dip on the softening was pretty mild, down to 1450 in early November. Since about halfway through, well, 3/4 of the way through December, it started to break out to the upside. It got above that 1550 level, which was the former resistance. Then it gave back some of those gains. So what it's created is a very bullish cup and handle formation. And now we're in the handle, and the low of the handle was where the former resistance was. That became the support level. And now that, which was around 1550 again, and now we're at 1588. When I'm talking about these numbers, I'm talking about the nearest month's future contract. So it's not the spot price, but spot follows that first month, that nearest month's trend. And now it's at 1588 today. I think we're any day now we're going to break above that 1600 for a new 1600 closing high. And from there, I think we've got a lot of blue sky. This is a very bullish chart I'm seeing in the price of gold, and I'm expecting it's just looking for an excuse to break out. And when it does, there's not a lot of, we cover a lot of the best juniors in the space. So, you want to watch our various different shows, our behind the, looking closer into the news releases. On the commodities brief, these junior mining weeklies, the hidden treasures. There's a lot of good ideas out there that I think will perform extremely well as we get some new highs in the price of gold. So yeah, I'm looking for a big move, 1600 plus, get us closer to 1700 before PDAC. And that should create some enthusiasm going into PDAC, which I'm looking forward to. I'll be there this year, and maybe we'll do some shows from there as well, Rob.
That's it for this week's show. If you're a fan of the information, please subscribe to the channel and share the broadcast. We'll be back next week for more informative equity news debriefs, hopefully you can utilize to enhance your portfolio.